Kendrick, can you tell me why Brianna did not include any negative numbers on her graph? Colin, can you help with Kendrick out? We can't get negative bags of chips and negative candy bars, can we? Okay, so this graph is only appropriate in the first quadrant. All right, very good. Okay, can I use your graph for a minute? Okay, you can have a seat. I'm going to use your graph for a minute. Okay, this is what we've been doing. Okay, this is what we have been doing. We have been graphing linear equations. Today we're going to extend into a new thing. All right, now I want to talk to you about what's different about what we've been doing and what we're going to do. Okay, how many candy bars and how many bags of chips can she buy? Is there one answer?
No.
No. How would you look at this graph and find some answers based on this graph? Okay, so based on that graph, where are the solutions to the equation? Every point where?
On the graph.
On the line. That's right. On the graph, on the line. That's very good. And that's one of our objectives that we focused on. Okay? Is in order for us to find solutions on the graph of the linear equation, we're looking for points on the line, right? Very good. Excellent. So an example of combination she could buy 6 candy bars and 1 bag of chips. Now, does that make sense? Because how much do candy bars cost? $1, so that'd be $6. I'm sorry, 6 candy bars and 2 bags of chips based on this graph. So that'd be 6 times 1, you'd spend $6, and then you would spend 2 times 2 on bags of chips, 4. That'd be $10. Okay. Does she have to spend all 10 of her dollars?
No.
No. Has your mama ever told you you do not have to spend every dollar that you have in your pocket? Okay? Alright, well let me ask you this. Could she buy this combination? Could she buy 8 bags of chips and 5 candy bars?
No.
Why not? She doesn't have that much money, does she? Okay. Alright, so could she buy this combination?
Yes.
She could buy 2 bags of chips and 1 candy bar.
Yes.
Yes, because how much money would she spend then? 2 bags of chips and 1 candy bar. She'd spend $5, and that's within what she spends, right? So, if we know she doesn't have to spend all the money, she can spend more than what she has or less than what she has? Less than what she has, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's what we're going to talk about today. It's not an exact equation. We're going to talk about using an inequality. Learn to graph the solutions to a linear inequality in 2 variables as a half plane, excluding the boundary in the case of a strict equality. Okay? This comes from our algebra section, reasoning with equations and inequalities, and this is going to be our standard number 12 under that section. Okay? All right. This is our agenda for today. We've done our bell work. We're going to talk about making some connections. I'm going to ask you how you'll know what to do. We're going to work an inequality puzzle. I'm going to model something for you. Then we're going to do an activity called You Choose. We're going to do a relay race, and then you're going to have time to reflect and practice. It's going to be a fun day in Algebra 1 today. All right, so inequalities, all right? What connections could we make? What classes are you in school right now where you might use inequalities and maybe you haven't thought about it before? Devin?
I take it out.
Well, sure, we use it in math, but are there other classes like, for example, I was thinking about, it's true, I was thinking about Coach like saying he's got 90 minutes to practice. And he knows he needs to devote time to free throws, and he needs to devote time to layups. Oh my gosh, missing layups. And so there's all kinds of combinations of time that he can devote to different things. So that would all be inequalities. What about in life? Like, what kind of careers do you think? Brianna? Okay. Tatiana?
I was thinking businessmen, because they got the bills and you can only pay so much money because you got to pay for electricity, the gas, and stuff. And then you gotta pay for, you know, advertising to get your stuff going, so.
That's very good. I was, one second, I'm fixing, I'm calling you, LaKendra. I was thinking about business too, and I was thinking if I have 2 products that I make, and one product, if I make it, I make this much money, and one product I may make a little less money, but there's all different kinds of things that are associated with that, the cost of making those products, and so the combination, I'm gonna wanna make as many products that I can that give me the most amount of money. Okay, that combination. Business is very good. You made your candy.
Stock market.
Stock market, how so? This is the last one. Can you tell me how you would know this one would be just less than?
It's a dash line and the shade is below.
Very good. It's a dash line and the shading is below. Okay, we're going to get into our groups today. And today your group is going to be the tables that are directly in front of and behind each other. Okay, we're going to do an inequality puzzle. So in your pink bucket, at the back table, like turn your chair around. Hold on just a minute, I'll finish giving you instructions. There's a piece of cardstock paper, and there's a group. This is your cardstock paper, looks like this. And there's a group of puzzle pieces. So we're going to work in groups of 4. All right, you're going to take your puzzle pieces, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the puzzle piece that has a little star on it. Okay? One of the puzzle pieces has a little star. All right? And this piece is going to go in the top left corner. Okay? The top left corner. So go ahead and get in your groups. And I'm going to give you your roles for today. All right? If your name on your table today was written in red, you're the CEO. If your name on your table today was written in blue, you're the EVP. Green is the secretary, and purple is the controller. So you all know what your normal duties are associated with those roles. But for today, for today's activity specifically, the CEO, you're responsible for the overall productivity of each group member and the finished product, and you need to double check the rubric. We're going to use the daily teamwork rubric today. I put another copy on your table. It's on top of the polka dot sheet. So CEOs, you're responsible to double check that rubric. EVPs, your specific job today is to ask all group members if they agree with the placement of the puzzle pieces. Okay? Secretary, your specific job today is you're placing the puzzle pieces. As the group agrees where to put them, you're placing them. And controller, you are taping them. Once you get them all placed down, controller, you are taping them. Okay? So what I want you to do is start with your star piece. Put it in the top left corner. You're looking for the solid line shaded above. So which inequality sign helps you? Okay, so which one is this? Greater than, because remember we're reading from left to the right, so greater than or equal to. Okay. So we found an equation that was greater than or equal to, and it has a negative slope. Does that make sense? Y'all are on the right track. EVP, make sure you're asking, does everybody agree? Oh, good. That's fine. Is everybody agreeing so far? Okay, so what are we looking for here?
Solid line.
Solid line, so that's gonna have the what on it? Okay, shaded below, so is that one shaded below? And does it have a negative slope? Perfect.
I got the power.
Which do you like better, chocolate chip cookies or peanut butter cookies? Okay. So next, find the slope in the wires. And see, I gave you a spot right there to write it down. Okay, so based on that, teach inequality signs gonna go right here. Very good. Very good. Very good. So now do the same thing on these two. Okay, check out the pin. Good job. Okay, very good. Working on that early finish your work. Good job. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Great. Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. Good. As I look around the room, I see most people are finished with that. So let's move on today. Good job. Okay, I want you to get your tan sheet back out. Okay, put your tan sheet back out. Okay, and so the next part, the next thing we needed to know was, could we correctly graph a linear inequality? I'm sorry, could we write the inequality when we see the graph? Okay, so if you're ready to put a check mark by that box, go ahead and do it. If you feel strongly about your ability to do that based on the last activity that you just did. If you're not sure yet, don't put your check mark, okay? Because that shows you the part that you still need to know. That's the part that you're not quite sure about yet. But if you feel good about it, put your check. Okay? So now we need to know, can we correctly graph a linear inequality in two variables as a half plane? And look, this is exactly what the standard says to do. So we've worked our way to the point where we're exactly ready to do exactly what the standard is telling us to do. All right? We had to know how to do these other things before we could get there. So I'm going to model for you. Your model page is on the last page of your staple sheet. All right? So I made my graph. Now step 4 says check your work. Can anybody tell me how I might be able to check and make sure that I did this correctly? Jada. Okay, I could use the line. That's what I would do for an equation, right? But since I'm graphing an inequality, where do you think I ought to choose? You think I ought to choose the line? In the shaded area. Very good. Now, Jada, I want to talk about this because in this instance, a point off the line would work. Okay, it would work. But what if I had a dashed line? Would a point on the line work? Why not? That's right. It's not equal to. That means it doesn't include the points on the line. It's just, can anyone tell me today something that you learned? Just share out and tell me something that you learned that you didn't know before you got here today. Tatiana?
I learned that you don't have a line under these dashes.
Very good. Very good. You learned that the graph looks different on an inequality. It's not always solid like it is on an equation. Okay? Travis?
I learned that the greater than sign is going to be shaded above and the different is shaded below.
And that's not hard, is it? It just makes sense, doesn't it? Okay? It just makes sense. So at the bottom of your, Quentin, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have a little check my inequality.
By using, by using
a point.
a test point. Very good. Very good. Okay, so at the end of your exit ticket, you have the 2 questions at your end of your exit ticket. There's a place for you to reflect, and that's where I want you to share with me how you feel about the lesson. And you can use your objective checklist. If you're still having trouble, be specific with me and tell me which part you're still having the most trouble with. Okay, so quiet reflection time.